The TicTacToe app has three primary sections in the HTML. First, it has the setup portion, which shows the grid input box, the player input box, and the new game button. Below that will be a turn indicator and also an end game message, depending on which player's turn it is and whether or not the end game has been triggered. The player class will update with the player turn, so it will change colors. And then when the game is over, the end game message will be shown. There are also some CSS tricks that will be added to make things look a little more interesting. The game grid is composed of rows of an array of objects which contain an array of tile objects. The Angular sets up the default values for the tile list and player number. It sets up the player class list, which will be used to flip the styling for the elements dynamically. There is also a list of characters to use for the player, so there's 5 players allowed. The generate grid function builds the actual game grid by creating the tiles dynamically based on the set grid size. Each of those elements is then stored into a tile row object, and each tile row object is subsequently pushed into an array of tile list objects, which is used to build the game grid. The new game function just kind of clears it and sets up a new game, and sets the end game message. Clicking a tile will change the state, so we will also save in what the actual player's icon is and prevent it from being updated. Each time it will also check the win condition after it's been clicked. The next player will be the player token will be advanced. To check the win condition, all of the player tokens are gathered into a string, and it is then converted. It's checked both in array, column, and diagonally. If the character that's in the first position of that array is present for the grid size number of occurrences in that string, then that player wins. The YouTube search is composed of 2 main areas. Well, 3 main areas actually. You have the container area, which you have the top container area, which contains the logo in the search bar. The search bar is tied to the query Angular object, and the button will trigger the search function. The results area, which is built using the items returned from the JSON from the YouTube API, and clicking on one of those objects will bring up a modal which pops over to actually show the video. Here's where we build the API to actually get the searched query back in JSON form. Only the items section of that JSON is used. Clicking on the search button will also move the hero style image up to the top of the window to make room for the actual items. The video will be set when you click on a list item, and this will stop the video from playing. So real quick, the tic-tac-toe game. Player 1 is the winner, and then if we're going to set the grid size to 5 and 5, get the idea. The YouTube one. And then if we search for cat videos, because that's all the internet is made up of,